Welcome to the CPA channel. My name is Charlene. Today I want to talk to you about what do you do when it is approaching April 15. As a CPA, every year people come to us and sometimes taxpayers wait till the very last minute to ask us to file a tax return. So in this kind of situation, we often see that there are two scenarios. One is that you have a really huge balance and you are not prepared to pay. The other scenario is that you have a balance but you feel like your balance is not accurate because you are missing a whole lot of deductions. So in this video, we will talk about what are the course of actions, what are your options when you learn that you have a huge balance and you have not been paying any estimated payment. So stay tuned. So let's talk about what do you do when you learn that, let's say you owe 10 or 20,000 and you're not ready to pay it. Now, as you know, the extension to file is not an extension to pay. The reason being, let's say you learn that you owe $10,000, you do actually have to pay the $10,000 by April 15. Now, we all know that if you cannot afford to pay, the IRS does provide the option to apply for installment payment. But you cannot apply for installment payment if you're on extension. At the same time, you feel like you don't want to submit a tax return knowing that you're missing a whole lot of deductions because you don't have an accounting system to track all your business expenses. So what do you do in this scenario? So I will give you some step-by-step guidance. First, when you enter and prepare your preliminary tax return, you need to make sure that all the 1099 income is actually recorded on your tax return. Now, you try to maximize your deductions, but at this point, if it is April 15, you probably are missing a whole lot of deductions if you do not have financial statements. So in that scenario, you will submit the tax return and apply for installment payment using the form called Form 9465. Now, before you do that, if you are thinking that I'm going to have to amend the tax return, here's when you have several options. The first option is that you can actually apply for an extension first, because extension will allow you extra time all the way to October 15. But because you need to apply for an installment payment, because you are not going to be able to afford to pay the whole balance, then you want to submit your tax return so that your installment plan will go in effect immediately to reduce your penalties and your interest. Once you submit your tax return, I'm going to introduce you a new concept. The new concept is called superseding tax return. Now, what is a superseding tax return? A superseding tax return is a second tax return that will replace the original tax return, but it is different from an amended tax return. Now, let me explain why. Amended tax return is a tax return that someone has filed, but you feel like the result or your filing is inaccurate, and within the statute of limitation, usually 3 years, you are able to file an amended tax return. However, a superseding tax return is a tax return that will replace your original 1040. So for example, if you file an extension and then you file the tax return and then you owe $10,000 and then you apply for 9465 to go on installment, and then within, say, a couple of months, you hire an accountant, you start going through your books and you reconcile your credit card statements, your bank statements, and you discover that you in fact have not owed any tax balance at all, you can, within the filing period, which is before October 15, file a superseding tax return to replace your original tax return, and that will be the best way because at that point, your second tax return or the superseding tax return will replace your original tax return. So if you feel like you are running out of time because today is 2 or 3 days or 1 day or the same day, April 15, and you don't know what to do, please do not panic. I'd advise you to always reach out to a tax professional before you take any action to file an inaccurate tax return. If you need to speak with anyone, we will be very happy to help you and speak with you so that you know the right direction to go. Again, if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell notification. And until then, we will share more resources for you to help you reduce your tax balance. Till then, thank you. Goodbye.